And we're back. And I even remembered to unmute the microphone this time. Okay. So a quick plug for the channel. Tomorrow is Prime Day. So those of you with Amazon Prime memberships, you can get all sorts of cool goodies tomorrow. Look for all the great sales. But if you also have Amazon Prime, then if you link your Twitch account to your Amazon account, then you get one free subscription. And so you can show your favorite streamer some love. And if that happens to be us, that would be great. You get cool Cthulhu emotes and, help support your crazy local or not so local Cthulhu gamers. So, all right, we are back. Now that you've had some time to think it over, what is the rest of you three getting up to while Alistair and Jack are being shown around? Thank you, Bill.
Just got to remember to do that every month.
Well, were we going to follow up on the suggestion to talk to the retired police inspector about for help for guns?
Yes, let's do the basics first.
Got to get restrapped and ready for battle.
Excellent. Asking for a friend. Did you pack your rooms up before you are going out to do this?
I said yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you tell the cop in the elevator bay on your floor anything as you are going out?
Do you ask?
He doesn't ask anything. He just nods at you as you're walking by. But I'm just asking if you say anything.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Okay. It's fine.
Just tell him that you might want to keep his eyes out. He may have encountered some activity last night.
Say no more. Say no more. Say no more. Okay. So you're heading over to New Scotland Yard?
Oh, what was his name?
If that's where he's located, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sean.
Just realized I had that option.
Okay. So you head over to New Scotland Yard and ask for your dear friend Inspector Craig, and he says, "Gentlemen, what can I do for you today?"
Guess we fill him in on the adventures of the previous night.
Well, you're not. Alistair's not there. Alistair and
that's
Jack are still enjoying the comforts of the Penhew Foundation.
Get schooled.
Okay, so we're there. We're
Tell him
talking-
everything?
I think so. He's been.
I mean, why
Okay.
not?
Hmm.
Tell him everything.
Including
From the
about
beginning.
including about Munden.
Including about Munden. Who is freaking Munden again? Oh, he was the guy who was captured.
Yes, and who specifically asked you not to tell the police because He was afraid that if it got back to Barrington, that Barrington would stop at nothing to try to get his old partner back.
Do we know if he's still alive?
Wasn't he getting like tortured and then like sound stopped or something?
Yeah, they dragged him off and we couldn't hear him anymore.
I don't know. Roll the dice.
Are we talking to Barrington?
Well, no, you're talking to Craig.
Wait, is Barrington the guy who's retired, or
No,
Craig is
Barry-
the guy that's retired. Barrington was the first detective that you talked to that Mickey specifically told you don't say any crazy shit to this guy because he's, like super above boards. And so, of course, started talking about cults, and so he
we weren't judicious enough.
politely asked you to leave his police station. And then the retired Inspector Craig found you and said, "Look, Barrington's a little bit of a stuffed shirt, and he's also going through a hard time because he lost his partner."
I think we should tell this guy, and he would be able to make a better decision on what the best course of action is compared to us.
Okay.
It does seem like if Munden was still alive and we could do something about that not telling them would be kind of crappy too. But that's just me.
Okay. So you tell Craig the entire story. And Craig kind of sits back in his wheelchair and goes, "Well,
Right?
you boys have had quite the night then." All right.
Putting it.
First things first. It sounds like your location's probably been compromised. If your reporter friend told Zara anything, so we should probably get your stuff out of there.
Good call.
He says,
Thinking the same thing.
if you trust me to do it, I can have a couple of my plainclothes boys go up to your rooms, get your things, and move them into another hotel, and hopefully that will keep them off your trail for a little while. I'd still recommend absolute caution while you're going about the city, but this will at least hopefully throw them off the scent a little bit.
Sounds like a good idea.
Hmm.
I still think we should leave town. Because we can always come back to town.
He says, "Well, that's never a bad idea, although I will admit the
I was more thinking
policeman in
that myself.
the policeman in me wishes that he could get some more information. I can't surveil Gavigan. He's too highly placed. He's a peer of the realm. If anyone ever found out that I was putting policemen on the Penhew Foundation, heads would roll."
But a couple of foreign nationals, no connections.
You know, they're already watching you. If they
Mhm.
don't note it, the last thing that they're going to expect is for you to be watching them. Honestly, you might even throw them off the scent more by just hiding out, laying low, and watching the Foundation.
Now, two of our members have gone to speak to him today.
Interesting.
Previous appointment before last night.
Hmm.
I'm going to try and throw him off the scent, but I think by basically telling him, some guesses they have, but completely off in left field, so to speak.
I see.
Make him think we're clueless. More so than we are already.
Yeah, the plan is act like complete morons, even more than we usually do.
Well, here's what I'd recommend then. I'll get you moved to another hotel. I'll have my guys move your stuff. Some plainclothes guys, so that'll hopefully throw them off the scent. We can get you into a hotel that's a little bit easier for us to contain as well. And I'll same thing. I'll put a uniformed man on the floor. And we'll get you on an upper floor so that no one's coming in your window. That'll at least, give you hopefully at least a little bit of security. While I'm getting that done, he slides a business card over to you for a hunting and tackle store. And then also slides across to you a safari license, and says, go and see Robert over at this store. Be sure to tell him that that I sent you, and that you're personal friends of mine going on a safari, and that you're all set for
explosives for our safari.
you're all set for long guns, unless you feel like you might need some more. But tell him that you also want some close quarters arms. Just in case you get caught unawares by an animal, that you'll at least have something to scare it off with.
Just say that you're planning on hunting the most dangerous game.
He'll get your meaning and get you what you need. Take care of that.
Right.
Meet up with your rendezvous with your friends, and then meet me back here, and I'll have the keys to your new rooms ready.
All right. We thank him for his support, and I don't know. I guess we head out.
Okay.
Gun up.
So the hunting and tackle store that he sends you to, once you drop Craig's name and show him your bona fide safari license, he is able to get you anything that you want. So tell me what you want, and we can make that happen. Are you just replacing the pistols that you lost, or are you taking anything else on?
Does he have any landmines? Or high explosive?
He does not have stock landmines.
Why stop at landmines?
Any howitzers? Stop with camel or two.
Does he have a Gundam?
So, maybe he has a spare regiment of the Russian army that deserted after the revolution for a job. I don't know.
I want a giant robot.
Everyone wants giant robots.
I'll settle for even regular size robot or exo armor suit.
Well, we could play what is it? Cthulhu Tech. But I hear the Cthulhu Tech is it's
It's a homebrew mod of BattleTech.
Oh my god!
I think there's an RPG system. I might be misremembering the name, but it's like Lovecraft and mecha anime and a bunch of really terrible game mechanics all came together to make a horrible mess.
Arthur, I see you're watching. You know, we should think about this for a side quest if Harbinger ever comes back to guest star on BattleTech. Okay, so
Whoop.
back in our game, no, your Robert might have some good stuff, but he does not have any battle mechs, giant robots, landmines. But he can give you pistols. He can get you rifles. He can get you all the ammunition you need. Just tell me if you're buying something that you didn't already have on your character sheets before you got robbed.
Israeli submachine guns.
Hand grenades, maybe.
I'm gonna get a shotgun as well.
Okay, you get
Yeah.
a shotgun.
Shotguns in 1920s England aren't that big a deal.
No, more expected than some of the long guns we're carrying around.
Yeah. Anti-tank
Yeah, I'll
rifles.
just I'll
Anybody?
replace the Colt.
Same here. I'll replace my gun. Pick up some ammo.
Okay.
Does the proprietor recommend anything?
This is well. You seem to have your safari pretty well outfitted.
What kind of animals would you say you're hunting?
Why am I flashing back to John Wick scene?
No, you guys should definitely try to source a Tankgewehr M1918, the world's first anti-tank rifle. Just in case,
That's just crazy talk. Now you've gone too far.
They started making it in 1918.
Germans thought of everything.
Same thing with the Browning automatic rifle.
Yeah, but that's probably less effective against Lovecraftian horrors just because it doesn't shoot as large bullets.
Yeah, but it shoots a heck of a lot of them.
Because bullets do so much to mythos creatures.
Well, you just need a big enough bullet.
Within genre, you gotta admit, it's like Godzilla movies, right? You know the Japanese army's not gonna do anything, but they keep rolling those poor bastards out anyway.
I mean, I will say, the Japan doesn't have an army. It's the Japanese Self-Defense Force.
Something like that.
They have an army at this time, but
Well, at this time, but in terms of Godzilla movies, there are not Godzilla movies set before 1945. So,
does he have any sawed-off shotguns?
That
Just buy a hacksaw.
that he does not have, but he is happy to sell you a hacksaw
yeah, just get a
and
shotgun
a, and a
hacksaw.
12 gauge.
Yeah, I just want a shotgun and a hacksaw then.
Do Dragon's Breath rounds exist in the 1920s?
No.
Damn.
But he's more than happy to sell you all the bird shot you want.
Probably if you wanted a mouse gun.
Well, if we're going on safari, we probably need something to take down an elephant. So a nice elephant,
like an anti-tank rifle.
You can get an elephant gun. Those
So the tank of the animal.
Although I don't think you're carrying enough money to buy an elephant gun. Those go for $400 in
I honestly think we'll be
the 20s.
okay with what we have.
So how does shotgun damage work if it goes down, depending on the range? Do you just change it based on how far away the target is?
Yeah. So regular shotgun, yeah, it's based on the range and the type of, and I think the type of success you get. But if you saw off the shotgun, then you're gonna lose the larger range increments. So you're only gonna be able to get the first range increment, and you'll lose the top level damage.
Oh, all right. I just want a 12 gauge pump then.
Okay. And are you sawing it off, or are you just gonna have it as
I just
is?
have it
Okay.
because I need more knockdown power.
Okay.
Just you talked about getting. You want just 2 pistols?
Yeah, I'm holding on onto one for Jack.
Okay. You get that done.
Ooh.
Okay. You guys check out and get all your stuff, and then you catch up with your friends Alistair and Jack. I'll let you catch each other up on the awesome situation.
And so at this point, we have the conversation.
Look, we have weapons.
So he knows you have that you know about a book. And any chance you can get your museum to cover for you, because he's probably going to go after it.
Yeah, I'll have to leave some information with them to kind of throw them off the trail.
Tell me what you're gonna do to get that done.
I'll leave it with my assistants there that if anybody calls looking for life as a god, that we do have it in our collection, and can stall on any negotiations.
It's out for restoration at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're gonna leave it that it's only if anyone calls asking about it.
Right.
Okay. Good to know. All right. Anything else?
So, are we sticking in town, guys, or you still want to go leaving?
I thought you told me that you were gonna stake out Gavigan.
I feel like our two best options are stake out the Penhew Foundation in town, or leave town and stake out Miser House. Our best options in terms of finding out important information, not our best options in terms of staying alive.
Well, was it how many days do we have? We have a while before, right? Probably the next ceremony, right?
Like, half a month, right?
So I think probably at least take a look at Penhew for a while before taking off and going to the thing. Make sure we haven't, missed any details.
Right. Whatever time you guys have to stake them out, I'll do a bit of study on the life as a god.
I'd make separate notes just in case the book ends up lost, if you know what I mean,
Right.
and stash them elsewhere. And if you're done and you don't need the book anymore, maybe our police friend can find a good, safe location for it to be stashed. Because I said
preliminary read up with 5 weeks to do a complete study. It sounds like we've only got a few, so maybe I could do a partial study.
Mhm.
And take copious notes and try to get as much as I can out of it.
Okay. So 5 weeks would take you further out uh, than the next new moon.
Right.
Yeah, if it's a few days before full moon, then next new moon is less than 3 weeks away.
Right. I've just figured as much as I can get done before.
Okay.
Before we.
Okay. You start working on that. What I'm gonna say is, so it's 5 weeks of 8 hours a day study of it. If you're not going to spend that time, you can still get it done. It's just going to add more time to complete the study.
I mean, you only need 4 hours of sleep a night, right?
Yeah. I'm just going to do 20-hour days on it.
Yeah. It's already all that insanity. You're going to get like some awesome insight.
Spend some extra sanity on it.
Yeah. You can get a ton
sleep
of
deprivation.
You just pile it all in.
So
will help.
So the things that I'm gonna tell you as a player, Bill, because we haven't spent a whole lot of time with Mythos tomes. Game wise, the only thing that you're gonna get from a full study is that you'll get more Cthulhu Mythos points. You already know that there's no spells in this book for you to learn.
Right.
So the only things that you're gonna get here are the chance at more sanity loss and the chance at more Cthulhu Mythos.
You can basically, the whole the candle burns at both ends thing, except here the candle burns at a non-Euclidean number of ends.
Right. As far as the game mechanics go, you've gotten the in-character information that you will already get from the book.
Okay.
So mechanically, the only thing that this is going to give you, if you spend the 5 weeks, is more Cthulhu Mythos points. I don't want you to, blow 5 weeks of character time and then be super disappointed at the end because I'm like, that's all you got, dude.
I do get 2 other books that I still haven't even looked at. So.
I feel like Alistair will never be disappointed to have the chance to trade sanity for Cthulhu Mythos points, you know?
Alistair would not be disappointed. However, Bill might be pissed at me. So, I just want to make sure you understand what what a full reading gives. If there's no spells in the book, then
Yeah.
all you're gonna get is a number of more Cthulhu Mythos points.
Right.
And the ability to use the book as a reference material down the line. But again, I'm not sure whether that's something you want to waste 5 weeks on just to be able to use this book as a. So when I say use it as reference material, it's that you can use the book to look up things where you would normally have to make a Cthulhu Mythos roll. You can instead use the book roll, which in most cases will be easier, until you start really going because you've read too many books.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get any more in-character knowledge about the Black Pharaoh by doing a full reading of the book.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're looking for, you should look in other places as opposed to have your character do this.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I should try one of the other books that I've got.
So what I'm hearing is break into Gavigan's office and steal his creepy occult books.
I'd like to get our hands on some of those.
I'm sure he's got some.
Oh yeah, there's a safe that we saw, and he noticed that we saw, and we slammed it shut.
What could possibly go wrong with that? Okay, so now that Bill is not spending all his waking hours looking at that book, what is everyone doing?
Again, I feel like our best two options are either stake out the Penhew Foundation or stake out Miser House, because we know for sure that Miser House has cult stuff going on, and we know that Gavigan spends most of the day at the Penhew Foundation, right? Or like that's his sort of work headquarters kind of thing. So there's probably something there worth investigating. So like either one of those, I'm fine with focusing on here.
Like I said, I'm still in favor of let's keep an eye on the penthouse, the foundation.
Well, it's got a battle map, so obviously we're supposed to go in there guns blazing.
Way to think in character.
I mean, this isn't D&D. Not every map is a battle map.
It's just a big enough building that
On the other hand, have we been on a map that didn't eventually result in some kind of battle or conflict?
No.
Yes, there was no fight at the Blue Pyramid.
Well,
That's
we
because we were
could find
prisoners.
if
Yeah,
the Penhew has its own little jail.
Yeah, except for the dungeons.
There wasn't a fight there. We just picked the lock and ran away.
Okay, but 1 of 8 or whatever the number of maps isn't awesome. I don't have strong. Well, I don't know. It's not clear to me what we're looking for in the stakeouts, I guess. But
What are you doing, guys?
We've got too much time on our hands.
So
No.
maybe we should vote. Well, basically, we got stake out the Penhew Foundation or hunt down the Beastman, right?
If you
Or
guys
just
want to,
go right to
like-
Miseries.
yeah, if you guys want to stake it out, I can do a study on one of the other books.
Like, what does that even mean to stake it out? Like, we're gonna sit in a car across the street?
Yeah, I don't know. In terms of like just watching who comes and goes at the front door for the Penny Foundation, I don't think would be that good. Ideally, we would want to try to get inside and get at the juicy stuff that they're keeping in the safe or whatever.
So, burglary.
Probably.
Well, we could pay was it £10 for a year's membership at the Penhew Foundation and
it was £10 to £10 to peruse the library, I think, or
Right.
to get an artifact for study if you have the credentials, right?
Right.
The thing is, we want the stuff that they don't keep in the public display galleries or the library that's just open to any scholars, right? We want
Well,
the creepy cult bullshit.
Yeah, if we get some more information, we can kind of push them on that.
Wait, what are you guys thinking is actually in there?
Creepy cult stuff.
Like more books?
Maybe books, maybe documents about, I don't know, like his Penhew's or Gavigan's little diary that has a nice little section with the heading "My Evil Plan."
Well,
That'll tell us what he's up to, right?
maybe also if we keep a watch, we can identify some other cultists that may be down the food chain. That wouldn't be such an issue to get, if we snatch to interrogate later on. All sorts of little fun things.
Right. We might be able to get some information about the Carlisle expedition. If that really they are.
When you say cultists that are down the food chain, do you mean the food chain of the cults or like the food chain of British society?
Probably both.
Because Zara Shafiq is reasonably up there in the cults.
Yeah,
But
but
in
how much
terms
you want to bet
of
she's protected?
society,
Yeah, but how much you want to bet that she'd be protected and pain in the ass? And again, somebody that couldn't exactly, if we wanted to, snatch or interrogate. Come on, why should we be the only ones kidnapped?
All right. So it's like 1 in the afternoon. You get your keys to the new hotel. It's in a completely different neighborhood, but still in London proper. And Craig tells you, if we have any problems, we can move you further out. But I feel like it's just going to be better to keep you closer at hand, where I can have some of my men look at the place. I'd definitely be interested in anything that you hear about Gavigan. As I said, he's too far. He's too well connected for me to do anything. But you can do a lot of unofficial things that I can't do.
But if we happen to identify
Yes.
anybody that's a little lower down, so to speak, not possibly as well protected, you know what I mean?
Always a possibility.
Okay.
Keep keep an eye on yourselves. I'm sure they're gonna be watching you. I'd say, do whatever trickery you need to do to not let them know where your new hotel is. I've I think that you could probably uh, sneak in the front door and out the back of your old hotel for the next couple days and throw them off the scent more.
We'll do that. We'll avoid asking any cultists out on dates. That's probably a good idea.
Quite.
Something to not do. But a quick thought. This is more out of character, I guess. But if, for example, I, the player, put on an English accent, would you be inclined to give any kind of bonus to the character's role to pretend to be English?
I'm gonna say that without some sort of character skill to back it up, um, you're 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 just gonna be a high school drama kid pretending to who's watched too many Monty Python videos and not sound convincing to.
I'm not sure you fully appreciate how much British television I've watched. I can do a moderately convincing British accent to anyone who's American.
To anyone who's American.
Yeah.
That's the key here.
No. It was a shot in the dark. All right. So,
Well,
yeah.
there's
I mean-
like a lot of British accent. You can just say that you're from Cornwall or something.
I'm from Devonshire, sir. That Samwise Gamgee voice.
I'll tell you. I mean, I'll give you a bonus die if you really want to play it in character. But if you don't have any skills,
Bonus die is not
a
gonna
bonus die is not going to help you that much.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. The whole infiltrating Mr. House as a new member of the staff is still not our best bet. Which is a pity, because that sounds really fun.
Okay. So now what are you doing? Are you going to stake out the? Are you going to go look around the foundation, the outside of the foundation now? Are you? What are you doing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday?
I think it might be worthwhile to have Alistair go into the Foundation as a visiting scholar and look around and try to get as much access as he can, and the rest of us sort of stake out the building as much as we can, and it's kind of try to case the joint to make a plan to
Okay.
break
works for me.
in and steal interesting information. Honestly,
That works.
how does that sound to everyone else?
I can go roll some library use and see if I stumble upon anything.
Okay. Great. Let me grab the rest of your tokens.
Just stay away from the mook. The mook tokens.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Look how trustworthy Edward Gavigan's profile pic there is. He seems like a nice guy.
Okay. So, Alistair, you go in and pay your dues and sure make a library use roll.
That dude is like the creepiest looking dude ever.
Yeah, I mean there's a shitload of books about Egypt and it's gonna take you. You would guess it would take you months to go through all the books here. There is, I mean, you like to consider yourself a pretty learned scholar, and there's more books about Egypt than you've ever seen in your entire life. So
Can I just
there's
say,
a lot here.
I'm very disappointed that our designated party nerd has a library use of only 50. For shame, sir. For shame.
I put it all in a cult.
Skill.
Seamus, you have mechanical repair, right?
That's correct.
Make a mechanical repair roll.
Okay.
Okay. So, as you're looking at the outside of the building, you notice something weird. Um, on the outside of the building, there's a strange ventilation pipe coming out of the side of the building that we lost someone.
No.
Lost George. See if we get him back. Yeah, there's a weird ventilation pipe coming up out of the basement along the back of the building.
Hmm. So along the back, probably from the basement, means there's probably something there. Is there any
Weird ventilation.
So can we find a kid that'll fit into the
Yeah.
bush of a law?
Hey, George.
Sorry, my
No
laptop
prob.
power.
No problem. Everyone except for George and Sean, can you flip your cameras off real quick? And then Carl, then Bill, then Tark. Great. It's certainly not big. Like it's, fist sized. But it strikes you as strange. You wouldn't expect to see this on a building.
Mm-hmm. Is the basement, visible? Like, how sometimes you just have that rise and you, like, there's windows or something else that shows a.
There's a coal chute that you can see, but other than that, there's no casement windows or anything like that.
And that was kind of expected.
As you guys are walking around the building, you see a truck pull up.
Arc-like vans.
No, it's actually a dark blue truck, and the words Ferris and Sons is painted on the outside. And it pulls up to the loading gate, and a couple of guys get out of it and start smoking while they wait for the gate to open. Then a few minutes later, you see a group of guys bring a large, heavy-looking crate up to the back door, and then the group of them kind of lever it into the back of the truck, and the truck starts to drive off.
Can we tail it?
You can.
Anybody up for joining me?
I'll go with you. Can I bring my shotgun?
Wait, let me get it. You're riding shotgun.
Yeah.
We need to get a motorcycle with a sidecar. Because it doesn't get any more pulp than that.
I'd be in for that.
1 second.
Okay. So you you follow this truck for about 20 minutes, and it shows up at the docks in Limehouse.
No. Not the dogs.
Not the docks.
This is when it all started to go bad.
It's fine. Limehouse is a completely classy part of London where nothing bad ever happens, according to all of the late 19th century and early 20th century British stuff that I've ever read.
So we're gonna
Dogs,
get press
you don't
scan.
need to read anything else.
It's definitely not where the Fu Manchu has the center of power there, maybe. But he's probably not in this campaign, so it's fine.
Docks are where all the evil schemes happen in a deserted warehouse. It's where all the
There's
secrets
definitely
are.
some shady stuff going
So
on in
it's-
Limehouse and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
So it's a grim and dirty part of London. It has an unsavory reputation for gambling, derelicts, opium addicts, exotic restaurants, and crime.
So in other words, we should be perfectly at home.
Cheap housing draws working-class English as well as smaller African and Asian communities, notably Chinese, Japanese, and East Indians. Apart from the residents, sailors from near and far loiter around the Dockland night spots, ready to gamble, drink, and lose their hard-earned wages through all manner of distractions.
So what I'm hearing is we can get cheap lodgings, good Chinese food, and bars where all kinds of fun entertainments are an option. What's not to like?
When you put it that way, I'm moving in.
So the truck arrives at a warehouse on Rope Maker's Fields, and the men unload the crates into the warehouse and then shut the doors behind them, and the truck drives off.
Wait, only George and Sean are there, right?
Jack went as well.
I mean, you could have all gone. I'm fine with that.
I don't know about the others.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
I'm not reading.
Sure, I failed my library roll. I'll come along.
So whereabouts in
The Limehouse.
docks are they? Do they go?
So, let me drop you guys on a map here.
No.
So this is Limehouse, and right here is where the warehouse
Oh crap! There's a map for this too.
is. Right where this blue X is.
Are we just observing what's going on, or are we going to try to jack their stuff?
I think we should observe first. See where they're going officially. What happens to there was a crate, right? They brought out, so.
Yep, the truck brought up a crate in, and they loaded it into the warehouse, and the warehouse doors closed, and the truck drove off.
Sounds like we need to do a little D&E.
Jeez.
We could kind of ask around, pick up rumors before we go straight to the illegal stuff.
Well, first, let's find out what happens to the truck here in this area.
The truck drove off after getting unloaded.
Oh, this warehouse, is it like just generic warehouse, or is there a big sign out front that says the Gavigan Brothers Warehouse or something? I don't know.
It is a generic warehouse. There's a sign on it that says Puneet Chowdhury.
Okay.
What time is it?
By now it's about 3 in the afternoon.
Alright, I'd say if nothing else happens during the day, we could sneak in at night. Because that's what we're all here to do, isn't it?
I think Jack is going to spend a bit of time kind of walking around, sort of being nosy, I guess. Maybe buying a few drinks.
Okay. Make
he's probably, I think.
make some sort of social skill roll.
Yeah. I guess a charm.
Sure.
All right. That is with a bonus die.
Okay. So, people are a little bit wary of you. They don't really seem to. Your New York accent isn't doing you a lot of favors in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
But you're able to eventually buy some sailor some drinks, and he's like, "Well, what can I tell you? What can I tell you, laddie?"
I've heard some a couple people mention this Chowdhury guy.
Oh yes, he's got a warehouse on Ropemaker's Field. He imports and exports all around the world, I hear.
What kind of goods does he generally trade in? Do you know?
I don't know, but I will tell you that some of his he keeps some unusual hours. Sometimes you can hear them moving goods in the dead of night. His workers are lascars, and they're very tough customers.
Hmm. Would you say he involves himself in the kind of business it's best not to ask too many questions about?
Now you've got it, laddie.
All right, all right.
I'll take another while you're buying.
Why not? I mean, like, Jack's not got a ton of money, but I imagine that this sailor doesn't have very expensive tastes, so it's probably okay.
And the drinks are super cheap around here, so yeah, you get it figured out.
Hmm. Well, fair enough. Any shot in the dark here? Any whispers going around about interesting people that he's doing business with? People that you might think would be above that kind of commerce?
No, he doesn't know anything about exactly who he's dealing with. Just that Chowdhury seems to have some odd hours,
Okay.
and that his crew are rough customers.
All right. That's that's a bit of good information to have, I guess. All right. Well, that's I think that's about it for Jack's information gathering. So, like, yeah, unless we want to try to pull off some scam where we act like potential business partners for him for Chowdhury. I don't know. Like, we could try to figure out that, or we could just break into his warehouse and see what's what.
I was thinking of going to. I was thinking of going the more direct route.
What a surprise!
Which is
Breaking and entering.
Yeah, we haven't done any breaking in or entering this entire session. That's
Long overdue. We're in a warehouse district. It's like the written invitation to breaking and entering. Unless other things were observed during the daylight hours, I guess. Any other trucking arrivals and departures?
I mean, there's a fair amount, but nothing else to Chowdhury's warehouse.
I think the
I'll
the
be
main
back in a second.
what we mostly know is he and his employees can be around at weird times, and he's got some muscle on the payroll. I think is what we've learned. So if we're gonna break and enter, a bit of caution might be advised.
Tell me what your plan is.
Well, I think the problem is, if we are gonna try to break and enter, our locksmith is AFK at the moment.
Unless someone else wants to do something else, I say we wait till evening. once.
You're just gonna hang out in the warehouse district until evening.
Well, we already kind of started since Jack went out and got drinks and stuff.
Stop people going by. Say, your wife,
Wait,
is she a
so is
goer?
there anybody working in the warehouse?
They rolled the door down, so you don't know. I mean, you knew people were in there when they received the crate. So then you haven't seen anyone leave.
Are there a lot of people working in this area?
Yeah, I mean, it's the docks. It's late afternoon. There's a bunch of folks around.
Alright, I'm not sure where. Okay, so while Jack is out doing Jack things,
Schmoozing.
I'm gonna go and just like, is there like an obvious entrance to this place, like the business entrance, not like the?
Yeah.
I want to go like see if anybody's there. I want to pretend like I'm gonna look for a job.
Okay.
I'd like to import-export some goods.
That's right. Right. So I mean, worst case scenario, I get a look around and I see what the heck is going on, and then we break and enter later. But
Okay. Let me just get this guy.
so you know, if it's open, I open the door and just like walk in and see if anybody's around. If it's not, then I'll knock on the door or walk around, and if anybody asks anything, I say, "Hey, I'm stuck in London and I'm trying to work my way back to America."
Okay. So you knock on the door, and an Indian gentleman with he's about average height and weight. He's got a bushy mustache and a kind-looking face, and he just kind of looks at you and says, "Can I help you?"
I I tip my hat and say, "Name's Jesse Summers. Kind of looking for some work. You got any?"
Ah, Mr. Summers, I'm terribly sorry. I don't really need anyone right now. My crew is pretty full up. What is it that you do?
What is it that you want me to do? Do I have any? I mean, so are we just like at the doorway?
Um, he's kind of like let you in, and he's got an office in the right in the front of the warehouse. Um, you can see that he's got a lot of goods in there, and you see a couple dozen Indian and Southeast Asian, pretty big strapping guys, uh, moving crates around.
All right. So it looks like a warehouse.
Looks like a warehouse to you.
A warehouse. So I said like, wait, sorry, what was his name?
Paneet Chowdhury.
I was like, look, Panit. I'm not the biggest or strongest guy, but I'm a hard worker, and I'm just looking to make some money so I can go back home to America. I've been bumming around Europe for a while and just kind of got down on my luck and need a few bucks. Can you help a fella out? Can I use charm?
You can.
Alright. Can't remember which friggin' thing. Of course I fail. All of them fail.
So he says to you, "Look, I'm sorry. I've really got all the people that I need, but I feel bad for you, and I understand what it is to be a hard worker who's come on some hard times. Uh, if you go three warehouses down, and go and see Arthur's, and tell him I sent you. He's usually looking for workers. He might be able to help you out, but as I said, my crew is full up right now."
Arthur's. Is that like wait, is that like the name of another warehouse? Or is it just like a
Yeah,
guy?
yeah, you see him where he's pointing.
Okay. Let me see here. How I thank him, and like do I have time to take note of like how many guys there are in there, like just like a rough count?
You see at least a couple dozen.
Couple dozen guys. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I thank him for the tip, and I say, yeah. Well, I will try that. Thank you very much. Hope to see you around. And I leave the warehouse.
Okay.
Arthur's. Worst case scenario, I can ask Arthur's about this guy.
Okay.
Um, so I don't know. I guess that's what I did when Jack was doing Jack's thing.
All right.
But he's a named character. He's got his own like mugshot. I guess if no one else is doing anything, I'm gonna go. I'll try and follow up with Puneet's tip then.
Okay. Are you going and asking Arthur's for work, or are you just gonna go and?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him for work. Kind of. Yeah, I'm gonna see if he's got. I'm gonna see if he's got some work. I'm trying to think. I guess similar story, but yeah, similar story.
Okay. So.
But I do mention that like I tried to I don't know what he says, but I do like the main thing I want to do is like mention that I talk to this Puneet guy and see if I can find out more about him.
Okay. So this guy Arthur's, says, "Oh yeah, Panit really only seems to hire people that he's either known for a while or are fellow countrymen. So I'm not surprised he turned you down, but I can always use someone with a strong back. If you want to show up at 7 tomorrow morning, we've got a freighter coming in that needs to be unloaded."
All right. That sounds like my first lead in a while. I will see you at 7.
Great.
All right. Screw this investigation stuff. It's gonna be a longshoreman and go back to New York, Texas. Maybe work on an oil rig. And then in a couple of years, when an asteroid threatens the Earth, I'll go into space. Wait, different. That's the plot to Armageddon.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess I didn't really get too far there.
Anybody else want to do anything, or what's the plan from here?
Wait, George's character is Asian. He could get a job there.
Oh, I thought they only hired South Asians.
Well, I don't know. What kind of Asian are you?
Oh, he's Chinese.
There are definitely Chinese people in Limehouse.
Oh,
Well, there's Chinese people in Limehouse, but Puneet's crew was mostly Indian.
Hmm.
A few looked like they could be, Southeast Asian islanders, but
Well, you can just go around the opium dens and pick up information.
Well, I was going to suggest if we consider doing anything, probably best if we go get it changed so we don't stick out as much. Everybody have clothes that can, scale down a bit. We can watch the place a bit here at night, see if anything happens, figure out if it's a good opportunity to bust in, and probably that will end up being a gunfight, knowing us.
we just bought all these new guns. We gotta try them out.
Yeah.
When you say clothes that can scale down a bit, like the only point below Jack's normal wardrobe is like homeless rags. So I don't know.
meanwhile, the rest of you have been running around in your pimp suits.
No. Jesse's always pretty casual.
Okay.
Well,
So you-
But
so
this
you-
is a working man's joint. It's
Yeah.
not like
So
Jesse,
you're gonna
Jesse,
class.
like what does Jesse have? Jesse has his fancy suit, or he's wearing a cowboy hat and a poncho.
That's right.
Either way, he's gonna stick out.
walking up to guys going,
Oh, not
"Hello,
so-
governor."
Establish that. Or South Asian.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Know what I mean? Say no more.
What was I gonna say? If
I'm
we-
looking for the
Aren't we
man
gonna
that
pat
shot
all our
my
guns?
paw.
What?
All right. So you're coming back in the evening to stake things out more. Is that what I'm hearing?
I think that'd be the best idea. Are you guys in with me?
Tried to get a
Yeah,
job.
let's do that.
Okay.
Let's give us an opportunity to rest up too. I mean, we had, how much rest have we honestly had?
Okay.
We'll get all the sleep we'll need when we're dead.
So next
or
session.
in the insane asylum.
Surprised we haven't died already.
Okay. So you come on back. Are you so I'm going to ask for stealth rolls.
That's not good. Are we even going like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
A
Oh
one.
boy, I think I nailed that.
No one else even needs to roll. You rolled the one.
It's like
A
Well-
hard, a crit, an extreme, and 2 regular successes. All right.
we just vanish.
You ninja this shit.
We're all
Which is
just
such a
dressed-
change from how you guys normally run.
And I fail a library roll.
Well, I did fail my charm roll, which is like one of my highest skills.
Okay.
I've only got 20 on stealth.
So
Oh, what?
Same here.
so that night, several sailors arrive at the warehouse, and the doors kind of roll open, and some of the guys that you saw earlier, Jesse, roll out some crates, including the big one that you saw get unloaded from the truck, or at least one that looks an awful lot like it. And and they begin moving the crates to down the street.
To Arthur's?
Nope, they're going past there. And they go down the street, and there's a ship on the second X over here, and they start moving the crates onto the ship.
What's the name of the ship?
The ship is called the Ivory Wind.
It's better than the Nostromo. Ivory Wind.
It's parked at the Regent's Canal dock. It's an older merchantman ship.
It's terrible.
Is it what flag is it flying? If any.
It is flying a Chinese flag.
Dude,
Oh no, is it going to Shanghai? Is this the way to Shanghai?
whoa! I actually put points in language Chinese.
Oh,
Well-
dude. Chinese this out.
In the 1920s, any ship that's putting in a Chinese port, it's gonna be Shanghai or Hong Kong. I feel like, and Hong Kong isn't even really Chinese. The British own it.
British.
Anything
Right.
under a Chinese
Well,
flag, Shanghai's a decent bet.
Didn't we find clues earlier from
Yes,
like
we did. The matchbook.
and Hong Kong?
The matchbook. I think it's the matchbook.
Alright.
Hey, I know a guy in Shanghai. He runs Club Obi-Wan.
I know a kid who drives a limo.
Well, limo is a bit of a fancy way of saying crappy taxi.
It's got a motor and he doesn't have to pedal it himself. What more do you need? Okay, George, maybe you need to, I don't know.
Wait, so are they going to China, or is it's a Chinese ship?
It's registered in China apparently. Yes, it's
Eventually it'll
probably-
end up in China.
Probably, yeah.
Can we
We
get a
could
little
probably
see if we can overhear anything?
we could probably check the there's
Someone
got to
put
be
in
some kind of
Chinese food?
paperwork, right? Like it's got to be registered with the London customs people or something, you know?
Lloyd's Register of Shipping, you could definitely get some information from.
Oh yeah, Lloyd's. They're ship insurers, I think.
Well, here's the thing. So it's got a Chinese flag. Can we tell the ethnicity of most of the sailors?
Let's just go to China. Screw
No,
them
just
up.
have Martin talk to them.
So the sailors on the ship don't appear to be Chinese. Most of them seem to be very, very, very white.
Are they
That
vampires?
means- I was just gonna say, what does that mean?
You know, they're actually there's a few Chinese hands on it, but there's also a couple of Africans and some, you know, white blonde-haired guys.
So they don't look like the vampires we encountered in Colombia.
No, not like the no, just they just they look like they're probably Scandinavian.
Swedish Chinese.
We did one of the crates they took aboard the ship was the one that we tracked from the
You believe
venue?
so, yes.
Okay. Because otherwise, it could just be like generic smuggling happening.
How many sailors are there?
There are. It's hard for you to tell because you don't know how many are below decks and haven't come out, but you've seen at least 8 or 10 guys.
Can we sneak onto the ship, or do we need to make another stealth roll?
Well, they're actively loading cargo on, so
Hey man, if only I had gotten that job.
that would
Grab a
be
box and walk on. How about we a couple of guys go on the boat and a couple of guys get back.
We're gonna
Split
split
the
the party.
I'm-
And some of us are-
if someone wants to throw in some cash for like I don't know 3 to 5 bottles of cheap liquor, Jack will try to distract the crew.
So you
I'll do it. I'll take you up on that.
so about this time, you see a guy, an older guy, come up on board, and he's wearing the captain's hat, and he's kind of ordering everyone around. No, put that over there. No, not there. Put that down there. No, no, no.
Is he speaking English?
He is speaking English.
Okay.
He has an accent that I'm not sure that any of you would be able to place.
Is it
Um,
Spanish?
Is it French or German
Neither of those.
or I don't know Irish?
No.
Jack can probably pick out an Irish accent.
Nope.
That's probably it. Yeah.
So he's an older guy. He's got graying beard and hair, and he's kind of ordering everyone around. Eventually, they get all the crates on, and he says, "All right, you guys watch the boat. I'll be back." And he goes down the gangplank and starts
money he's going to
walking
a
in the
bar.
direction of the bar that you were at earlier, Jack.
This is much easier. We liquor up the
Okay.
captain.
I like that plan.
So that's our plan.
That's the plan?
Yeah.
I
Liquor up
Yeah.
the captain.
Jack
Okay.
has an idea. Jack has an idea
Uh-oh.
to to
You can't ask him on a date.
that's not the idea.
Does it involve rum?
It involves alcohol. It's just I have a way to strike up a conversation with him.
All right. Well, it's 11 o'clock, so I'm going to suggest that that's where we pick it up next time.
With any luck, I'll even remember what my harebrained scheme was.
Well, I've got a perfect thing. We have a conversation about what we think is the best drink. And we ask the senior distinguished gentleman here to help us, settle our little argument. Of course, we'll have to provide him with a couple drinks so that he can impartially judge.
See, my idea was Jack stumbles in, obviously already half drunk, and says, "Is there anybody here from a ship called the Ivory Wind? Because I lost a bet with a guy named Martin, and I gotta buy somebody a drink if they're on that ship. Like, it's just a generic name that the Ivory Wind captain will probably know someone with that name.
John Smith.
Not quite that generic. And first name only. But yeah, John or Charles, I don't know. Nigel. We're in England.
Okay, so let me ask, scheduling. Next week would put us back on our normal schedule. I can do that if that would work with the rest of you.
Yeah, I'm available next week.
I'm good any Sunday so far.
That should be okay.
I'll try to swing it. My work schedule has been all over the place lately, and I think right now I'm on for an evening shift next Sunday, but like that could change 4 times in the next 3 days. So
Okay. Well, we will try for it then, and
right.
and go from there. All right. Well, thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you, viewers. And I'm gonna hand the Twitch stream off to this other group, Happy Jacks RPG, who are also playing Call of Cthulhu tonight. So those of you watching on Twitch, stick around for the raid. Otherwise, everyone else, thank you much. Have a great night, and we will see you all next session.
Yeah.
See you.
Take care, everybody.
All
and
right.
if anybody that I bothered about this is watching, thank you.